abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
WNSR.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. That's 800-649-0142.
Truth's about to go off. Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios.
Just a bit outside.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call or text now. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Call us or send us a text on the WNSR text line. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. Call or text. Same number.
Alrighty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Hey, good Friday afternoon to you, and yes, it is time for the McFarland Show. Darren and Justin here with you on this very windy day.
Ooh.
Windy.
Winds of change.
This morning,
Yeah.
my goodness, it was raining sideways.
Yeah.
And it was nasty.
Some thunder there.
And some weird thunder.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, and who knows what's about to come. Right now, it's actually really nice outside.
It's not bad.
But I think in the days to come, we could be ready to start buckling up.
So, listen, everybody. You know, this is just the PSA from your good friend, TV Justin here. It's going to get cold. It's going to get really cold. Like, really cold. And now, I can't promise about the snow. It's going to snow somewhere. But how bad is it and how many inches we're going to get, I'm going to stay away from that because I don't know enough about that.
Do you think we are going to get it, though?
We're going to see some snow.
Just
but
different variations.
Different variations
8
of
inches
snow.
one day,
Well,
1 inch
hold
the
on.
next.
No one's saying anything about 8 inches, but, I would settle down on the amount. Is it going to snow, or is somebody going to look out their window and see some snow falling under the sound of our voice? Absolutely. I believe that is going to happen. How much of the snow are they going to see? That is the part I'm going to hold back on. What I do know and feel very confident in is the fact that it's about to get really cold, and it's going to be really cold for a really long time. For the next week or so, we're looking at temperatures, and these are the temperatures they're giving me here. Sunday night, 16 for the low. Monday night, 11. Tuesday night, 7. Wednesday night is a balmy 22. Thursday is 19. Next Friday, 8 degrees. Saturday, 8 degrees. Sunday, 14 degrees. These are the low temperatures. So don't say no one told you. Don't say, why is it so cold? I don't understand. Understand. It's about to get cold. It's about to stay cold. And yes, we could see some snow showers Sunday night into Monday morning. How much is yet to be determined.
If you think that's cold, that's nothing compared to what it's going to be like in Buffalo this weekend for their game against the Steelers, and Kansas City. And their game against Miami. I've been to a Chiefs-Titans game in December.
Yes.
When it was like 1 degree.
Yeah.
It's going to be colder than that.
Yeah. I was at
They're saying negative temps.
So the AFC Championship game in 2019, which was a January game, obviously. I think kickoff temperature was 11, with the wind chill clearly minus something, minus 11 or something like that.
I was in New England for the 03 Titans-Patriots playoff game.
Oh, yeah.
Wind chill, I think minus 30 for that game.
Jeez.
It was crazy.
Forgive Drew Bennett, for,
Yeah.
For this.
He makes it great. He giveth and he taketh away. He made an unbelievable catch and then went,
minus 30, you can kind of forgive him a little bit.
Yeah. All right. So today, every day we wake up, we're like, what goodies do we have today?
Well,
it's like Christmas every day.
Well,
we're sports talk radio host. What do we have today? Oh, wait a minute. What? New England? Bill Belichick was yesterday.
Yeah.
You hired your coach today?
Today.
Oh.
Don't need.
It was already in place? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Gerard Mayo, former volunteer, is going to be the youngest head coach in the NFL, and he is going to be the successor of one Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
And that's why, because apparently they already had this in writing. They had this
they had
done behind the scenes.
They wrote paperwork. You know what this is like? This is almost like, someone, and no one looks forward to anybody passing, but this almost feels like a family that was fighting over something after someone passed, and they didn't know there was a will this whole time. And someone breaks out a will and just says, yeah, this item goes to this person. What? Yeah, this item goes to this person. It's been here in this piece of paper for years. I don't know why no one knew, but there was never a need for a debate or a fight. This was never in question. This item was always going to go to this person. It's been written right here in this file cabinet for years. So there's been a lot of debate, but this was already a done deal. That Gerard Mayo, former University of Tennessee volunteer, by the way.
DJ Damon.
Here
Nothing?
we go.
In his orange jumpsuit?
He has no.
I know you said Gerard Mayo. I know. I just didn't want to say too much. I was trying to, be. I didn't want to
be different.
Trying to be different.
Right. Not jump in the minute we say something about the volunteers.
Right.
We're like, hey, let me grab it.
But I'm wearing my orange in honor of Gerard Mayo.
Guys, did you know he went to the University of Tennessee?
Yes.
He's a Vol. He's a VFL.
VFL.
Did you guys know that?
So obvious.
No, Damon, tell us more.
No, he was the linebacker back in the day.
Yes, he was.
He was one of the best linebackers ever.
Yes, he was
Number
very good.
seven.
Very good.
He was very, very good.
Very good. Very
now
good.
he's the youngest head coach in the NFL.
My question is, you think that's probably the reason why Belichick was told, hey, it's time to move on so we can give this guy a chance? Because we got him here. He's been in training.
No, if they went 13-4, Bill Belichick would still be the coach.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. But
they went 4-13.
Yeah.
But 2 years he's been bad, right?
3 years.
Well, okay then. So it's like, Bill, let's give the young brother a chance.
Yeah, they've been, for the last 3 years, they have not made the playoffs. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah.
And then the year before that is the Titans blowout win over them in the playoffs, right?
Yes.
So does that mean I got to start liking the New England Patriots?
You don't have to do anything.
No, you don't.
Okay,
There's a lot of other volunteers in the league.
Yes, there are.
Okay,
so you don't have to.
You don't have to do anything.
No. We're going to talk to Bill Keane in about 5 minutes. I don't know if people have noticed there's also college football news, too.
There is.
Yeah. And it looks like Alabama has set their sights in on Kalen DeBoer. It looks like it's all but done. I mean, they're in talks.
They're in talks.
What are they talking about? The menu at the cafeteria?
Listen, hold on, though. They were in talks with Rich Rodriguez, too, and they signed him. And then,
Justin,
and listen.
That's kind of a one-off deal. Like, it's not going to happen twice.
They hired Mike Price as well, and then he never coached a game because,
Well, but he did become the coach.
Yes.
He just never coached a game.
Yeah. Listen, I'm just saying that, things happen down there at that particular school. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you're right. They have had some goofiness.
They've had some episodes.
They have.
At that particular institution.
He doesn't strike me as that type.
He doesn't.
He seems very grounded and just in a really good football coach.
I think the university has also learned a few lessons since that time as well. To
maybe so
try to make sure those kind of things don't happen in the future.
One would hope.
So Probably not.
He might not get a university card.
No. Might have some restrictions on it. Might be some text alerts linked to it.
Coach, you can use the university credit card. Just, there's certain places it will not work. It'll be denied.
Yeah. I imagine there's some text alerts linked to the card. Card gets ran in certain places. I imagine some text alerts will go off.
It may have a GPS attached to it, just so you know.
Instantaneous.
I just hope he brings that same defense he had in Washington with him, because it's going to be a lot of running over him, like Michigan did. Just saying.
He's already with the.
But they were in the national championship game.
Yeah, but that defense is terrible. So hey, bring it with them.
Yeah,
that's
fine. That's fine.
Okay.
I'm not worried about it. That's fine. He's on that other stuff with the Tennessee and the Alabama thing.
By the way, Dan Lanning was, like the first one out of the gates with the Nick Saban news, right? It was Dan Lanning. Well, he beat Dan Lanning twice last year.
Yeah.
And then there's this team Texas. They're in the SEC. I guess not officially yet, but they're going to be next year, right?
Officially now. The season's over.
Well, no, but I think it's not till after basketball, these sports, right? It's not official till these sports.
if you want to look at it that way, that's fine.
Well, I mean, football-wise, I guess you could say yes. I'm saying it's not official.
I see what you're saying.
Like they haven't moved in just yet.
I got you.
I mean, they got a U-Haul parked outside.
I got you.
They just haven't moved in.
Well,
yet.
the football department's moving in.
You think they're moving
now, the
in
basketball
right
department has to wait, but the football department is already starting to move in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the spring sports, so that's not official, but Texas is going to be in the SEC next year. He just beat Texas too. So I mean, I think he'll be all right. Remember his record 104-12? That's pretty good. So we'll
we're going to
see.
beat all, but Texas. I mean, this is the SEC. It just means more.
That's the slogan.
Yeah, they're in the SEC now. So yeah, they'll get used to that slogan.
All right.
So, but it's kind of meant, it's always been a big deal in Austin too.
They get used to get beaten, hopefully.
Yeah. So I think we don't know. We'll see what that hire ends up being. It's not official.
He's got no SEC experience.
No.
But that's not a requirement for success necessarily within the conference. Nick Saban did have SEC experience, but let's pause here and remember Nick Saban wasn't your typical situation either. Not often are you able to find a national championship winning head coach in the middle of his prime who's ready to return to college.
Yeah.
It was pretty rare.
Special set of circumstances.
Who was disgruntled in the NFL and was ready to come back.
It's kind of like what Michigan did. It's kind of the luck of the draw for them.
Yeah. Well, it's a little different for them in that they were trying to get Jim Harbaugh to come back home. In their case, come back to So I'm not sure if Jim Harbaugh never played in Michigan. I don't know if he takes that job. I wonder if he actually takes that job if he never plays at Michigan.
Yeah, right. Considering he didn't have the Alabama ties.
Yeah.
The background.
No,
Jim
Nick Saban
Harbaugh,
did. Yeah,
obviously,
Michigan man through and through.
Right, no doubt. Okay, but we'll keep our look. What happened from that search, and it looks like I said, Kalen DeBoer is going to be the next coach at Alabama. What he did do, and we'll talk about this with Bill. He got a lot of other coaches some raises.
He did.
And some more security.
He did.
Sark.
Yep.
Dan Lanning.
Mm-hmm. Mike Norvell. Yeah.
So, and that's what happens. You get to use that as leverage.
Yeah. Also stop them from going to some NFL jobs too, because that's the other thing that's going to happen after a while. And it hasn't happened yet, but after a while, some of these NFL teams are going to start looking around, like the Carolina Panthers and a few other people, and go, who's going to take this job? Hey, how about the guy at, whatever, ex-university.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm serious. I mean, that's what happens here when the musical chairs and the music stops. Pretty soon, some of these teams with undesirable jobs are going to start calling people at fill-in-the-blank university to see if they're interested in going to the NFL. And most of them will say, yeah.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a break. Come back. Bill Keene. We'll talk some college football with him. We'll get his thoughts on everything that has transpired. Been a crazy week in the NFL and in college football. We'll get Bill's thoughts next here on the McFarland Show. We're live here in in the Strikers Bear Family Fun Center studio right here on Nashville Sports Radio.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
As the weather gets colder, the NFL offers Stay Hot on FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. I like putting parlay bets together, hammering the overs, and anytime player touchdown bets always have me on the edge of my seat. So if you're ready to do the same, visit FanDuel.com NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in Kentucky. First online real money wager, only $5 pregame money line wager required. First online real money wager, only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Attention business owners. WNSR has some exciting opportunities for your business to thrive in the dynamic world of sports radio advertising. As the proud home of some of your favorite sports teams like the Atlanta Braves, Memphis Grizzlies, and more, we understand the power of sports in bringing people together and creating a passionate community. We believe that your business can become an integral part of this experience, reaching a diverse and engaged audience. Contact the WNSR sales team for an opportunity to discuss how Nashville's sports radio can elevate your brand to new heights. Whether you're interested in a specific sponsorship package or would like a customized solution, we are here to meet your advertising needs. Call 615-844-1039, 615-844-1039, or email saleswnsr@gmail.com. That's saleswnsr@gmail.com.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
There aren't any cops around. After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good.
Hey, I can hold my liquor. I drink and drive all the time.
If you put away some drinks, put away your keys. Fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
The TSU men's basketball squad came through a challenging non-conference schedule with a winning record and now turned their attention to Ohio Valley Conference play. The Tigers kicked off a run of 18 league games over a 9-week period through February, leading the OVC Championship March 6th to the 9th at the Ford Center in Evansville. And part of that, 9 league home games at the Gentry Center. Hello, this is Greg Pogue inviting you to join longtime TSU broadcaster Albert Dawson and me on all the games this season right here on Nashville Sports Radio.
You're listening to The McFarland Show live on WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
It's been a crazy week here on the show. It's been a crazy week for shows in general. Crazy week in sports. Back here on The McFarland Show, Darren and Justin here live in the Strikers Bear Family Fun Center studio. DJ Damon all decked out in his orange jumpsuit here with us. It's not because, he's been picking up trash on the side of the road. He's a big Falls fan, so it's Tennessee orange. Mm-hmm. And by the way, you can watch the show every day as well. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You just got a big salute there from Justin.
Thank you.
And on our YouTube page, if you just type in WNSR Live, right now you can also communicate with us. You can leave us comments, and we can chat back and forth. Let's chat with Bill Keene. His week is over, so we greatly appreciate him jumping back in the fray. Big show this morning for him, downtown Omni, where they do that once a month and starts at 6 o'clock, ends at 9 o'clock. He talks college football, and this has been like a dream for him. By the way, Todd Rodemel will appreciate this story. Bill, I got my knee slapped by Nick Saban on the air, and it was very, very audible at the downtown Omni many, many years ago. Back in the right after it had opened. It had probably been open maybe a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you so when you take a shower, you make sure you don't clean that knee, right? You leave it.
Well,
Don't touch it.
it's been a while, so I think that's long gone. I asked him about keeping everybody happy, keeping 5-star recruits happy and waiting their turn to play. And before he answered, he was sitting next to me, and before he said a word, he literally, and I ended my question, he slapped me really hard on my knee. And you could hear it. It went out over the air, and then he answered the question. And I sat there a little bit in disbelief for several minutes, like, did Nick Saban just slap me on the knee? He did. Yeah, that's true. So you've been telling us he wasn't going to retire, Bill, and now he's retired. Why?
I was shocked. Matter of fact, I knew Chris Lowe when he was at the Rock Hill Herald. And we used to room together on the road when we would travel. And so he's closer to Nick than anybody in the media, period. Nobody comes close. And when he reported, I didn't believe it. I didn't believe Chris. And there's no way. And a minute or two later, it was obvious it was accurate. I was shocked. I thought he had another 5 years in him. And then I thought, okay, there's got to be, as you saw on social media, maybe the suggestion that there was an illness somewhere. That's not true either. It's a culmination of he's 72. But here's what accelerated his aging. It was this season. The entire vigilante fiasco, which is college football, meaning off the field, coupled with the season he had, not knowing what to do with the quarterback position, sitting Milroe for the USF game, looking like you're not a top 100 team in that game, somehow putting him back in the lineup, finding an offense that suited his abilities, and ending up good enough to win a national championship is an exhilarating story, and I think it broke him. I'm sure this season, coupled with the new environment, just expedited his tenure. And he said, guys, I just can't do this anymore. I cannot grind it anymore, which shocked me.
Do you believe he was a lot like Coach K? I don't know. I don't really know. Like, I feel strongly about Coach K, but who was it? The Villanova coach, Jay Wright. Maybe the new landscape of college athletics as we know it, NIL, transfer portal, just basically college athletics today, that the old guard, especially the Hall of Fame old guard, is like, man, I'm too old for this nonsense. Like, I'm out. Do you think that factored in? I mean, I know you just kind of laid that, but I kind of feel like that was really the driving force for Nick Saban to say, man, I'm not going to negotiate, money with 18-year-olds. Like, I'm 72 years old.
The job used to be all-encompassing and very difficult. Chasing recruits has always been hard. Paying players and not getting caught, they've been doing that forever. That's hard. Now that's all on the up and up. The problem you have is probably at a lot of the places with resources, you don't go a day without coming across your desk somebody's not happy.
Yep.
And it's based on the locker room, and it's based on they got the money. How come the new guy got the money? He hadn't done as much as me, but he's the new guy, and you needed to get him. There's always a problem with that, and it's never going to end. Now, guys, there's legislation, meaning NCAA, that I think they're going to pass, probably, which will be ready for 25, maybe before, and it's going to allow the colleges to actually pay. Now it's just a big lie based on a collective, but we all know, wink, wink, how it's going. This will make it NCAA legal for the universities to pay, and they'll probably come up with some NFL-style system to legislate this, and I would say, guys, that's going to be in place. I'm going to be conservative within a year, but it might get accelerated to begin in 24, meaning the season.
You told us Nick doesn't have a life. Football is his life. What is he going to do now?
They're giving him an office, and he's going to hang around. Now, I don't know what that entails. And if you're Nick, you can't be. First of all, he's the best ever, but it's still kind of weird to have the old man hanging around. You can't have him hanging around the football facility and just sticking his head in rooms, right? Kalen DeBoer doesn't need that, and the team doesn't need that. I'm not sure. That's just a way for him to have a place to go and a way to pay him, because you could pay him $10 million a year and it wouldn't be enough for what he's done for you. And again, I don't know what his agreement is money-wise from here on out, but it's just honoring him. And guys, the other thing is, a few months ago there was an announcement that his company purchased $700 million worth of Mercedes South Florida dealerships. So he's added that to his list. I'm sure that'll keep him somewhat busy.
He can always just count his money. I mean,
just sit around.
That would take a while.
And they built, in the last year, they built an $18 million, or bought an $18 million place in Jupiter, Florida, too. Probably some of that.
You just brought up Kalen DeBoer. That's where I was going next. I've got a buddy, and I'll just leave all the particulars out. He works with Kalen DeBoer's sister, and he has screenshotted a text, the thread that they've been having back and forth today. And she's essentially saying it's done, but she also said it's not done yet. It's not finalized. It's been a crazy day, but it's not finalized yet. And Justin was quick to remind me in the first segment that, crazy stuff have happened. Like, you can't just assume. Like, there has been, Rich Rod and Mike Price and, some crazy stuff around an Alabama football coach. But it does seem like Kalen DeBoer, this is all, but, the ink isn't drying just yet. Maybe not everything is signed. I know they're in talks, but it looks like he's the next guy up.
I think the assumption from both sides is he's going to be the Alabama coach. Now, what the particulars are, and he was making 4.2 at Washington, that might triple. He's going to get 8 figures out of this. And I think the assumption everywhere is he's done at Washington.
Okay. So you've been covering this league for a long time. You know it's a different animal, and I'm not doing just because they have the slogan, it just means more, but it does. And I don't know how much you've talked about, who you've talked to that knows him really well. I don't know. Maybe you know him. You tell us. How do you think he will handle? Because when you walk into this job, no matter how good you are, wherever you've been, it's a different world when you walk into Tuscaloosa and you're now the Alabama football coach. How do you feel like he will handle that position?
And you're sitting at Nick Saban's desk. I've told you this story, right? It's true. Nick Saban has a James Bond button on his desk, so when people come in to visit, he has a button he pushes, and the metal door is closed behind you. That's true.
I've seen it.
No,
yes.
It's a true.
Yes.
It's a true story.
Mm-hmm.
And I know people have gone in there and said that when those doors close behind you, you want to faint. It's that intimidating. But yeah, Kalen DeBoer, I think he'll do a good job. But Kalen DeBoer doesn't know what he doesn't know. Mm-hmm. Meaning, until you're there, and let's say it's the first moment, the first day or so, or the second day, you're sitting there and nobody else is in there. And you've talked to the media and you've talked to Greg Byrne and you've been on the phone with prospective assistants, but you're just sitting there looking around and you're thinking, what the bleep? Like, wow. And the difference in that job is Washington wants you to win, and if you're not going to win, they're going to fire you. Alabama sends you to the guillotine if you don't win. They don't just fire you, they kill you, right? And so he doesn't know what he doesn't know, but he will find out in about 2 days once he gets on that campus in his office.
So other guys got raises. I don't blame them. I don't fault them. Hey, leverage is a beautiful thing. We all would love to have leverage, right? And whenever you get it, you take advantage of it. So a lot of guys got new contracts and raises and extensions and all that good stuff. Do you believe, from the people you've talked to, this was Kalen DeBoer's job to take? How do you think this process, were these other guys really in the mix, or was this always his?
In these searches, as you guys know, it's always done in a clandestine way to where you never admit that you got turned down. And most of the time that remains vague, remains nebulous. I'm told that Nick was pushing Sarkisian. He wanted Steve Sarkisian. That was his hand-picked guy. Lane Kiffin probably didn't have a chance because the AD, Greg Byrne, doesn't like him. And you got to remember Lane Kiffin's last moment in Alabama was making a fool out of himself in the Washington, December of 16 Washington semifinal game, where he looked and acted inebriated. His play calling and actions were just strange. And remember, he got fired right after that, didn't make it to the championship game. Now, he's matured a lot, but that hurt him. I think he was in it, but that hurt him. And I do think Dan Lanning was in it. Now, what pecking order, you're never going to get anybody to admit to. I will say I think this hire is the best hire, though.
All right, Bill. So is Jim Harbaugh really leaving Michigan? He won the chip. It's great. If you're them, is he really leaving Michigan?
I still think so. That contract's unsigned. It's been sitting there for months, and it's a monster, 10 years, $12 million, 12.5, whatever it is. And he and Ward Manuel don't get along. And he doesn't like the current environment, and he just did the most you can possibly do. It makes sense that he's going to take an NFL job. It makes no sense to me. And again, Jim's a quirky guy, so what makes sense to me might not make sense to him either. But I just can't see him staying. It makes little common sense to me.
All right. If that's the case, then is Sherrod Moore the shoe-in to be the next head coach of Michigan, or are they going to give a legitimate search to somebody else?
I think he is. I think not that the team has to say so, but publicly, something you have to acknowledge, and he's got overwhelming support on that team, no question. And being the interim coach when Jim was out is good, and he did a good job. That's not the same as being the permanent head coach, but he passed the test. He did well.
Yeah.
And I do think if you were laying odds, he would be the odds-on favorite. Now, Jesse Minter, the defensive coordinator there, who was at Vanderbilt just 2 years ago, is a fast-rising dude. The job he did at defense was stout, and he's done a wonderful job there. He's going to get a gig somewhere, probably not this year, but he's going to get some mentions, too, in the near future.
Who takes the Washington job?
The offensive coordinator there is very, very highly thought of. I think they've already been talking to him. I think it's Coach Grubb. I do not know him very well, but he is an offensive whiz kid, and I think they want to hand it off to him.
Okay. Thank you for that. I did not. I had no idea, but that's why we have you on. I was like, I don't know who would take that job there. All right. Bill, the legacy of football, and I'm not talking about college football, I'm just talking about football in general, has changed this week, obviously, with some of the biggest names in coaching ever seemingly either changing addresses or walking away altogether. And it's almost unfair, Bill, because you can't do each one justice because they're all walking and changing at the same time. The guy who's got swept away with all of this is Pete Carroll, who's calling it a career essentially at the age of 72 after an outstanding pro career with 10 playoff appearances in 14 years, which is really good, as you know. And, not to mention what he did at USC. And then, of course, you got the GOAT with Nick Saban and Bill Belichick walking away. Bill, how are you digesting this? This is a lot in 1 week, and the football world is losing a lot of institutional knowledge and faces and people here and styles very suddenly.
We were talking about that this morning. When you're studying history, or it could be something non-sports related, historical, or maybe it's sports related. You look back and you take note that moment there was a changing. We're seeing a changing of the guard, literally. We're seeing the old famous names who probably could still do well.
Yes, sir.
Moving on, and the next generation is taking over. That is exactly the point in time where we are.
Who's the longest tenured coach in the SEC right now?
The football coach for Coach Cal is the basketball coach.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't it crazy? Kentucky has the 2 longest tenured coaches in the conference.
Hey guys, let me leave you something. I don't know if you want to discuss it later on your show. Name situations, how many you can recall, where a superstar head football coach, college coach, successor comes in and meets expectations?
Well, the problem is, how many more examples can you come up with other than, like Nick Saban? Do we have to go back to Paul Bear Bryant? Like, who are you have to come up with those are huge.
You mean immediate, Bill? You're talking about the next hire?
Correct.
Okay.
Next guy.
The next guy.
The next guy.
And how big? So does Urban Meyer count at Florida? Does Urban Meyer count at Ohio State? Like, who are the examples? That's what I guess for up to us to determine.
That's what he's asking, I think.
Bobby Bowden.
Okay, there's a good one. Yeah.
Now he flamed out last. They call it the lost decade. It really, and they couldn't get him out of there. It was sad. They named Jimbo as the successor. Jimbo won a championship in 2013. Now, he had to build it back up. That was pretty good. Jimbo hadn't done so well since, as we know.
Mm-hmm.
The best example that I can think of, guys, and this is going on back, is Bob Devaney in Nebraska in the early 70s, won back-to-back national championships in 70 and 71, handed the ball to Dr. Tom in 72. That's probably the best handoff I can think of. They're not many.
Because we know after Osborne, Nebraska's still searching. Frank Beamer, Virginia Tech hasn't figured it out since Frank exited the stage left. You're right. There's very, very, very few examples, I'm sure. We'd have to rack our brains, but I'm sure they're few and far between.
About the Miami football coaches, University of Miami, Jimmy Johnson to, Dennis Erickson to Butch Jones.
Schellenberger won it.
Yeah.
Schellenberger won it in 83.
Those are bad.
Jimmy,
they're short.
Butch Jones set it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're short, right? They don't stay
they
there.
Were shorter,
it's kind of like the Dallas, right? Jimmy Johnson, Barry Switzer.
Yeah.
It's short, but they did have, they won Super Bowl.
They won national championships with different guys at the helm there. So, but it wasn't long sustained runs. No, it was not.
It's hard. That's the point of this conversation.
Yeah.
Bill, appreciate it as always. Have a great weekend.
Appreciate it.
And we'll talk to you later.
Sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bill Keene, simply the best, talking college football every day, Monday through Friday, starting at 6 a.m. right here on Nashville Sports Radio. Wide open the rest of the hour, 615-844-5600. If you want to get involved, you can do so as you listen to the McFarland Show, Nashville Sports Radio.
And now, the fine folks at Nick's Construction and Remodeling are on the air reminding motorists to slow down on our roads. Keep an eye out for kids at play and never text and drive. It can wait. This message courtesy of Nick's Construction and Remodeling, serving the area with quality and pride. Call Nick's Construction and Remodeling today at 931-952-9587. 931-952-9587 for all your interior and exterior construction and remodeling needs. That's Nick's Construction and Remodeling. They do it all.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-617-0239. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-617-0239. That's 800-617-0239. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is the Greg Vogue and John Burton Show.
I think Vrabel created this situation.
I agree with you 150,000%. I've never agreed with you on a take more than what you just said, Greg Vogue. Because a lot of people are saying, right, well, why would he go to New England? It's a bad roster. The cupboard's bare. He's going to have time to build it.
Greg Vogue and News Channel 5's John Burton, WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Five-state forecast.
Your exclusive National Sports Radio, WNSR Sky Scan forecast. There's a wind advisory till midnight. For this afternoon, plenty of sunshine with showers and a thunderstorm or two. High 60, winds will be gusting up to 45 miles per hour. High temperature 60, winds gusting to 45 miles per hour. Utilizing the resources of the WeatherBug Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist, Jim Rinaldi.
Sports Radio, WNSR.
You're listening live from the Strike and Spare Studios, downtown Music City. It's the McFarland Show.
A little bit later, we'll have the McFarland 6-pack of picks. Before we get out of here, 6 NFL playoff games this weekend. 2 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, and a game on Monday night.
Weird.
And we'll make our picks. We had a good week last week, so we're excited to get to the McFarland 6-pack of picks. 615-844-5600. We're live here on this windy Friday here in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Let's go to the phones. Let's talk to Eric. Eric, what's up?
Hey, guys. As always, it's a pleasure to talk to you.
Same to you.
Guys, I debated whether or not to do a top 10, but then when Justin explained it the way he did, I actually last night thought of and did a top 10. I'm going to get to it in a minute, but one quick thing about the Alabama job. Another one that was considered, from what I understand, was Dabo Swinney, but I heard he has a clause in his contract. I forget what the specifics of that clause was, but I think it benefits Clemson, and I don't know if Alabama wanted to deal with that or whatever, but I heard a report about that. So
I think the clause was he had to use the transfer portal and he had to pay players. Something he seems to be unwilling to do at Clemson.
I think, So, But, guys, I'm going to get to my top 10. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Titans in the NFL playoffs.
Come on.
First of all, number 10, I've got the Cleveland Browns. I love Cleveland.
Oh, wow.
Would love to see them get to the playoffs. But due to the fact that their recent history, and they've been cursed by things like the drive for John Elway and the fumble by Ernest Biner, I definitely think they'll win against Houston, but I don't know how much further they'll go.
Wait a minute. Okay, so you've got the somebody winning this weekend at 10. That's on the road. That is
Yeah,
interesting. That is interesting. Justin had him at 4. I had him at 6. Okay.
Yeah. But I still think they'll beat Houston. Guys, number 9, I've got the Detroit Lions. I love Detroit. Would love to see them do it. But, guys, I think they're going to be in for a fight with the Rams, and I would not be shocked if the Rams win because Detroit still hasn't won since 1991. Guys, remember, this for me is not only history, but it's also what you've done over the past. So it's a combination of both for me. Number 8, I've got the Philadelphia Eagles. Listen, I love the Eagles, but they've lost 5 out of their last 6. And if they weren't as banged up as they were with Jalen Hurts with his ring finger and the fact that A.J. Brown may not play Monday night, I think the Eagles are in some trouble, guys. And if they look really, really bad, everybody said, well, no, you can't fire Nick Sirianni after getting the Super Bowl last year. Remember, guys, they fired Doug Peterson 2 years after he won the Super Bowl. So with that team, nothing surprises me.
By the way, you seen the latest on A.J. Brown?
I have not. No, I've missed it.
Well, he didn't practice today. I know that.
Well, yeah, but go find him on Twitter. Oh, wait a minute. He deleted the account, and he scrubbed all of his social media stuff.
Okay.
You can't do that in Philadelphia. You cannot do that in Philadelphia. He's learned the hard way. You can't be like that in Philadelphia.
Whatever.
They will not tolerate that in Philly. He's finding out the hard way.
Well,
you just can't be doing that stuff.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But he got paid, though.
Yeah, he did.
So,
he did.
Go ahead.
I don't understand him on social media. I don't get it, but
whatever.
He's done it again.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. Number 7 is the Pittsburgh Steelers. And listen, guys, I don't think this team's going to get the Super Bowl, but I will say this against Buffalo. If the weather's as bad and they're talking about blizzard conditions, if they can run the ball, they can keep it close because I think 10.5 is a little bit too much, but it's also going to depend on things like turnovers and stuff like that, so we'll see about that. Number 6, I got the Dallas Cowboys. Look, I love Dallas. I want them to win so badly. But, again, you got to show me in the playoffs. Maybe with 2 playoff games at home, they'll do something. But they got to at least get to the NFC Championship game. But if Mike McCarthy has a bad showing against Green Bay and they look bad, wouldn't be surprised if Jerry Jones fires him, especially if he has a clock issue management like he did against Detroit and winds up losing the ball game. Number 5, the Baltimore Ravens. Look, I, too, want to be behind Baltimore and back this team so badly. It is set up for them beautiful. 5? Yes.
What?
Yes. They've got the offensive way. I'm being honest. I don't trust
Eric.
He doesn't trust.
Look. If they win their first playoff game, I'll give it to them. But, guys, you got to remember, this is Lamar Jackson's 6th year. How many playoff games have they won?
One.
And that was against the Tennessee Titans during the pandemic year. They've got to win their first game because if they lose,
they got that loss got Vrabel fired.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's you have got to show me more than this because Lamar Jackson would be in his 7th year next year and 1 playoff win. I mean, come on now. You got to do something.
Wow.
At minimum, they've got to win a playoff game and get to the AFC Championship game. If they can't do that with this setup, then hey, I'm just saying.
They're getting Mark Andrews back, by the way. They're stud tight end.
Yeah. Number 4 is the Los Angeles Rams, and I know why if I got them ranked so high. This is a team you got to give props to. They won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Everybody thought they were going to be horrible again this year after last year. But I think Sean McVay certainly is going to get serious consideration for Coach of the Year with what he's done with Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, 5th-round draft pick, Cooper Kupp, the running back they've got.
Kyron Williams.
Yeah, listen, I'm not saying they're going to get the Super Bowl, but with what they've done and having no first-round draft picks is amazing, and it tells how great of a coach Sean McVay is. 3 is Buffalo. I know Buffalo, they, too, have not gotten the Super Bowl recently. They've only been to the AFC Championship game, but still over the number of years, they've had more playoff wins than Dallas and Baltimore combined. And I think with that running game they've now found, it makes them more dangerous where you don't have to rely so much on Josh Allen. Number 2 is Kansas City. And I know Kansas City has issues with wide receivers and all that stuff, but still they've got Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Travis Kelce, and you got to knock them out. So I never will count them out, even though they'll probably have to go on the road to win the Super Bowl this year or have a shot. And number 1, of course, is San Francisco. And if they didn't have 4 quarterbacks going down last year, I think they would have beaten the Eagles. I know recent history they've lost. They blew the game against Atlanta's 25-point lead when he was with Atlanta against New England and 10-point lead against Kansas City. But I definitely have trust in San Francisco. I don't see anybody beating them. And if it's a rematch against Baltimore Super Bowl, I like them. But guys,
Eric,
enjoy
the games, and we'll talk next week.
Gotta go, man.
Yeah, okay. Take care.
Thank you, Eric. Baltimore 5.
Listen, he doesn't trust.
I know.
Doesn't believe.
Yeah, he's got trust issues.
Yeah.
All right, we got loaded lines. We'll come back. We'll quickly take a break, come back, and rip through some more phone calls as you listen to the McFarland Show, Nashville Sports Radio.
And now for today's winning Cash 3 and Cash 4 numbers from the Tennessee Lottery. The first number is the number you just thought of. The second number is the number you would have picked. The third number is the day of your wedding anniversary. And the fourth number
They're only lucky numbers if you decide to play them. Cash 3 and Cash 4, only from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
Your brain is an amazing thing. But as you get older, it naturally begins to change, causing a lack of sharpness or even trouble with recall. Thankfully, the breakthrough in Prevagen helps your brain and actually improves memory. The secret is an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish. Based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired, Prevagen has been shown to improve memory. A Pharmacy Times National Survey of Pharmacists rated Prevagen the #1 pharmacist-recommended memory support brand for the 5th year in a row. You can find it in the vitamin aisle in stores everywhere without a prescription. Help your memory. Try Prevagen today. Prevagen. Healthier brain, better life. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare, and in the process started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
When was the last time you did something fun with family, friends, coworkers, and clients? What if I told you about a place under one roof that offers affordable entertainment for all ages? That's what you'll find at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers in Donaldson, Hermitage, Tusculum, Hendersonville, and Murfreesboro with bowling, games, food, drink, and entertainment for all ages. Enjoy an enhanced experience in Hendersonville or Murfreesboro where they feature additional fun with bumper cars, laser tag, roller skating, and more. All locations are open 7 days a week, including holidays. Visit online at strikeandspare.com. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
Hey, it's John Burton from News Channel 5 and the Greg Pogue and John Burton Show.
And I'm former All-Pro linebacker for the Tennessee Titans, also known as Mr. Monday Night, Keith Book.
And I'm Patton Cook. We're inviting you to join us every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 for What's Good with KB and JB, the podcast show.
All live on Nashville Sports Radio and all streaming platforms.
We talk Titans, we talk SEC football, we talk NBA, we talk everything, and we also get a little petty from time to time.
Make sure you join us.
The McFarland Show, broadcasting live in Rutherford County on 107.9 FM.
It's true. I listen every day. 615-844-5600. Back to the phones. Dr. Detroit, DD. Let's find out if he's nervous or excited.
Gentlemen.
Doctor?
And how are you guys doing? My blood is just pumping. I'm so psyched. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to do probably the most underrated pick there is, and only one gentleman on Good Morning Football on the NFL Network thought the same thing as me. The NFC representatives goes through Ford Field. Whoever wins between the Lions and Rams will be representing the NFC. What do you think about that?
Who said that this morning? Nate Burleson?
No, the other guy.
Herman Moore?
No. Good Morning Football.
Okay. Stop picking with Dr. Detroit.
The guy's more hyped up. The guy that really
Kyle
gets
Brandt.
more,
Kyle Brandt.
Yeah, yeah. He said that. But hey, guys, let me throw something else at you.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel like this is once again, God gave me a gift. It's called premonition. All right, so Jim Harbaugh won for the Wolverine Nation, correct?
He did win the national championship. Yes.
Okay. His brother wins the Super Bowl and keeps it in the family. See ya.
CDD.
All right.
He's already won one. He beat his brother.
He did. How about that?
So I guess it could be a Harbaugh type of year.
It could be.
Well, not according to Eric. Eric does not believe John Harbaugh is going to win.
He doesn't believe Lamar Jackson is going to win. But they're one and the same in this case.
Okay. Back to the phones. Tony in Nolansville. Tony, what's up?
About 2 minutes, Tony.
Good afternoon, guys. First of all, I mentioned that a couple of weeks ago that it could be a Harbaugh winner. Y'all might remember that. I mentioned both Harbaughs could be taking home the championship. And it could happen. I don't know, but it could happen. Justin,
yes,
this
sir.
morning,
yes,
you
sir.
used a little quiz that I quizzed you and Darren a couple of weeks on.
I did,
on
Tony.
all the coaches.
I did.
that,
I
the
couldn't
Florida
publicly give you credit for it, but I did use it. Yes, I did.
You used it this morning. I was glad to see that. Good job on that.
Thank you, sir.
And, guys, let me say this. If Alabama's going to go get this Kalen DeBoer, I tell you who he ought to call. He needs to call Brian Harsin because this guy don't know what the hell he's getting himself into coming to the SEC. And he can coach out there all he wants.
In fairness, I think it's a little unfair to compare Kalen DeBoer to Brian Harsin.
Well, that may be true, but he could get the information because what he's fixing to step into when he steps in the state of Alabama, he better be prepared because right now what I see two losses. I see the third Saturday in October, and I see November 30th when the Iron Bowl rolls around.
Who did Brian Harsin lose
be
to
ready for him.
in the national championship game? Who did he lose to again in the national championship game?
He lost to Michigan.
Brian Harsin?
Oh, no, I thought you were talking about
I'm just, the point is, he came from Boise State, didn't he?
Right.
I mean.
And when you step in the SEC and don't know
I know.
the pedigree of the SEC.
But 104-12 is still 104-12.
That is true.
And I am curious, though. You're right. It's going to be a different animal, but I think they got the best guy. I really do. We'll see if it works out. Tony, thank you as always. Have a great weekend. So you used one of Tony's stats?
Since 1990, the Tennessee Titans have only hired former NFL players to be their coach.
Nice.
And that is true.
Did you have everybody at Fox 17 going, whoa?
I don't know if they went, whoa. But,
dude, mind blown.
I did go over all the candidates and explain if they had NFL coaching experience or not.
Hopefully they know you know sports now.
I think they have a good idea.
Okay, good. We'll come back. Hour number 2. We'll talk more sports here on the McFarland Show next.
AM, 95.9 FM, Brentwood, Nashville, 107.9 FM, Smyrna, Nashville's first 24-hour sports station. WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Following the coordinated airstrikes by the U.S. and Britain targeting Houthis' militant operations in Yemen, President Biden at an event in Pennsylvania says the U.S. is working to deter the Iranian-backed militants from carrying out more attacks on commercial ships in the Red Sea.
We will make sure that we respond to the Houthis as they continue this outrageous behavior, along with our allies.
The president, speaking with small business owners in Allentown today, also says he still has confidence in Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, even though Austin did not inform the White House for days he was hospitalized due to complications from undergoing treatment for prostate cancer. House Speaker Mike Johnson says despite pushback from hardline House conservatives, he'll keep to the $1.6 trillion top-line agreement he and Senate leader Chuck Schumer worked out that will avoid next week's looming government shutdown. Volatile storms stretching across the country, including blizzard conditions. ABC News.
It seems like everywhere you look right now, someone is sick.
This year, prepare your family for airborne invaders like bacteria, pollen, and yes, germs with Navage Nasal Care. Navage flushes ultra-pure, refreshing saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out of the other nostril. Navage sucks out viruses, dust, and other airborne particles, all the stuff that gets trapped in your nose, making you miserable. Don't get caught empty-handed this winter. Get Navage, the drug-free solution that helps you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. Even better, Navage is HSA, FSA eligible, so Navage is a great way to spend those funds before they expire. Don't wait a minute longer. Buy Navage today and you'll breathe easier knowing you're putting your funds online at Navage.com or Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
In Tennessee, 967,430 people struggle with hunger, and 295,570 of them are children. That's 1 in 7 who struggle with hunger, and 1 in 5 are children. People who are hungry, they may be in your child's classroom, in your neighborhood, or just down the street. In addition, many of these people live in food deserts, which are areas more than 10 miles from the nearest grocery store. Often there are limited resources to get food, and the only option is fast food or convenience markets. While processed food may help with hunger pangs, it provides little to no nutrition. What began in 2008 as a dream to buy land, grow food, and give it away has recently developed into a way to serve and impact more individuals in the community. God has blessed our mission to be a healthy food source to those in need so much, By Faith Farm had to create a nonprofit to continue meeting the need in the community on a larger scale. Visit ByFaithFarm.com to get involved. That's ByFaithFarm.com.
Listen, you can't handle the truth. It's about to go off. Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare studios.
Just a bit outside.
Now back to the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call or text now. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Call us or send us a text on the WNSR text line. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600.
Alrighty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Second hour of the McFarland Show rolling along on this Wednesday, Friday. Hope everybody's having a good day. 615-844-5600. Terry McCormick coming up in about 10 or so minutes. Also, the McFarland six-pack of picks before we get out of here as well. It's been a crazy week. So you heard us talking with Bill Keene in the last hour. Nick Saban retires. Kalen DeBoer is the new head coach. So Kalen DeBoer, who had Washington in the national championship game, who lost to Michigan, is now the new football coach at Alabama. He has to fill the shoes left behind of the last 17 years of Nick Saban, who I believe, and many, many, many others believe, he is the greatest college football coach ever. And to me, it's a slam dunk because of how difficult it is to sustain it in today's game, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, the things that changed on his watch, right, where they would just name a national champion, which was what they did back in the day. And they'd have, depending on what service you looked at, they'd have 5 national champions crowned in a season. It was silly, right? I get it, but it was the 50s and 60s and 70s and what have you. But then, it turned into a playoff.
Yeah.
And it's just more games and more, and it's just got harder and harder and harder. And it never dropped off with him. It never dropped off. He is, to me, undoubtedly the greatest college football coach in the history of the sport. And there have been a lot of great ones, but there's nobody who is, I think, ever going to do it at the level Nick Saban did it.
Probably not. It's probably going to be tough to be that dominant again, given the landscape of college football and the way the players move around now. It's probably going to be very hard to get that kind of momentum going with the program, with recruits. The game is just built differently. Rosters are built differently. You can't do it that way anymore. Guys move too easily. it's just a different game. So that level of dominance is probably never going to be seen again. Probably never.
So we'll see if Kalen DeBoer can fill those very, very large shoes. Now, Washington's got an opening. We'll see what happens there. Is Jim Harbaugh going to leave Michigan and go to the NFL? Right now, New England, there's 8 vacancies currently. By the way, there could be more in the NFL.
7 now, because there was 8. New England is filled.
That's what I'm getting at.
Oh, okay.
There were 8 when we woke up.
Yes.
And then quickly, because it was very, very early this morning, that the news had gotten out that they already had a succession in place.
Yep.
And it's Gerard Mayo. So that took one opening away, basically overnight. After yesterday, the big news was Bill Belichick was out.
Yep.
Gerard Mayo. So now down to 7 vacancies. The Titans are doing their interviews.
Yes.
Evidently, one is complete.
They've just completed their interview with the Cincinnati Bengals offensive coordinator, Brian Callahan, for the head coaching position. And that has happened via Zoom. Apparently, all of the interviews, and this is league-wide across the NFL, can only happen right now virtually, and no in-person interviews can happen until after the divisional playoff games, which are going to wrap up on January 22nd.
Okay. And yet the Patriots still hired Gerard Mayo.
They had special permission because they filed paperwork, and they had a succession plan.
Yeah, I know. That was a joke.
Okay.
They could have still interviewed him in person. What's the NFL going to do?
Well,
because he's just like, I'm just here at work.
I'm about to say, I
just
I
came
don't
into
know if
work
that's
today.
the same thing, exactly. He's just having a different conversation in the same building.
So now Gerard Mayo is going to be the youngest head coach in the NFL, and he, like Kalen DeBoer, has to fill these very, very, very large shoes.
What's interesting is Gerard Mayo was drafted by the Patriots in 2008. He played 1 season with Mike Vrabel. He was the left inside linebacker, was Mayo, and Mike Vrabel was the left outside linebacker. Vrabel left the next season, and of course Mayo continued on to a nice career there in New England. But they did play together for 1 year together on the left side of the Patriots defense.
Pete Carroll is out in Seattle, so new chapter there with the Seahawks. Not sure where they're going.
Probably Dan Campbell. Not Dan Campbell, I'm sorry.
Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn.
Is that the speculation?
That's the speculation. He's the former, of course, defensive coordinator there under Pete Carroll.
Okay.
So that's why a lot of people are linking him to that particular position, that he will be the comfortable fit.
But he's the DC in Dallas right now.
He is currently the DC in Dallas.
And he was the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons.
He was.
For their only...
No,
that's not true.
Not their only.
98, they made it with Jamal Anderson.
Yep.
The last time they were in the Super Bowl, when they gagged away a 25-3 lead.
Yeah, they couldn't, man.
Was it 20 or 28-3?
28-3.
28-3 lead in the Super Bowl against the Patriots.
That is correct.
Dan Quinn was the head coach.
He was.
Kyle Shanahan was the OC.
Was the offensive coordinator.
So I'm not surprised. Dan Quinn probably deserves, not probably. He deserves another bite at the apple. He's been a very, very good DC. And yeah, I know it tailed off.
Yeah, he faded down the stretch there in Atlanta really bad.
And I don't know how much it had to do with
he
Matt
started
Ryan.
0-5.
Matt Ryan started fading, like his career, like he looked like he hit a wall. So I understand it ended badly. Look, when you don't have a job anymore, it's usually because it ends poorly. Mike Vrabel, it ended poorly here, okay?
Yeah.
That's how it works. Usually when you're getting fired, it's because it ended poorly. Bill Belichick is out because they went 4-13, not because they went 13-4.
That is correct.
And he's 71 years old.
That is correct.
Okay. So you've got Washington, you've got Carolina, which may be one of the worst jobs in the NFL because it looks like Daniel Snyder, the league got rid of him finally, who was the worst owner in the league, and now they have found their new, in a short amount of time, worst owner in the league. David Tepper may be smart. He may be filthy, filthy rich. I think he's actually the second or third richest owner in the league.
I think you're right.
He's got that much money.
He's got a lot.
But he comes off as a total jackwagon.
Mm.
And he's only been the owner for what, like 5 years?
Yeah, not that long.
So he looks like he is headed deep pockets, headed right down the same path as Daniel Snyder, as just a laughingstock of an owner in Carolina. We'll see. So I don't know who wants that job, because that guy seems to be very, very hands-on and, is not going to be somebody in the backdrop. He is going to be hands-on.
Yes.
And so I don't know where they're going in Carolina. You've got Washington.
Yes.
Where are they going?
Washington just hired a brand new general manager.
Yes.
Today.
The guy from San Francisco.
From San Francisco. Adam Peters, I believe.
The
is his
one
name.
who declined to
yeah,
interview here.
To interview with the Titans last year.
Yeah, that's right. So you've got that opening. You've got, of course, the Titans opening. Raiders, what are they going to do? Antonio Pierce, what are they doing? Are they
Antonio
bring
Pierce, who is one of the people who says he will interview with the Titans coming up here soon, but also says he's in the mix still to remain the head coach in Las Vegas. So that's an interesting dynamic.
So the question is, for the people out there, when you saw it on social media or people that have called into sports talk shows here in town, or they've put stuff out there, oh my gosh, and especially the national media, what were the Titans thinking? Mike Vrabel's going to be atop of every openings list. Well, where do you think Mike Vrabel's going?
Now there's some rumors that he could take the year off.
I don't see him as a take the year off type of guy. To do what? He's still young.
Recharge his batteries out. I'm not sure.
Recharge his batteries.
I'm not sure.
Is he going to do Taylor Lewan's podcast?
Maybe so. Maybe he'll start his own.
Just be a regular or start his own?
Maybe he'll start his own.
Okay.
Coach Vrabes. Welcome to Vrabes. I don't know.
I don't know. He does have personality.
He does.
I don't know. It could be good. It just depends on how much is he willing to. What's he willing to say?
That would be the thing. And I would venture to say he's not willing to say enough at this particular point in his career, because I think he wants to coach again. So I think those are the kind of things that you do when you're done.
I think that was tongue in cheek. We're having a little fun.
So
what is the best opening?
What is the best opening?
What's the best opening? Is it Seattle?
Seattle's a good opening with a good ownership. They clearly have been successful. It's a place where you can be successful. History has shown
and can win.
They've got a quarterback who's a little older that you're going to need, to adapt to a little bit. Who they just gave a big contract.
Chargers we haven't mentioned.
Well, the Chargers, the Panthers have ownership issues that you got to be willing to overlook in order to take those jobs.
Well, and the other thing with the Chargers that people are just convenient. They just go straight to Justin Herbert, and they're like, and they've got, a lot of, really, it's a good roster. Well, guess what? It's also a roster that's cap strapped. They got to get rid of some of those good players.
Yeah.
So, and as you mentioned, Spanos is not a good owner. Not viewed as a good owner.
Not viewed as a good owner, no. He's not viewed as a good owner out there, so you've got to be willing to overlook some of that. And then there's, other issues as well, other jobs as well that I'm not sure if Vrabel's a good fit for, so we'll see.
Maybe that's why he's going to take a year off, because these aren't
very attractive openings right now.
All right, we'll take a break. Come back. Terry McCormick, TitanInsider.com. He's been covering the Titans since they've been here. Let's get his thoughts on this week. We'll do that next.
Prince's Hot Chicken, Nashville's original hot chicken, with 3 locations serving Middle Tennessee, south on Nolensville Road, 5th and Broad, downtown, and the new location at Tanger Outlet Mall. You can now order your favorite flavor of heat online at princeshotchicken.com. And don't forget dessert, including special holiday pies. Prince's Hot Chicken in 3 locations and princeshotchicken.com. Prince's Hot Chicken, Nashville's original hot chicken.
Gas, groceries, utilities, you name it, the price of everything is going up, and if you're stuck in a bad timeshare with rising maintenance fees, the financial burden can be crushing. It is time to get your finances in order and get the real facts about that timeshare that you are stuck in and your options to get rid of it. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has been helping families out of horrible timeshares for over 10 years and has put together a complete timeshare exit information kit that he will send you absolutely free. To date, over 30,000 families have trusted Wesley Financial Group to help them out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. Get the facts about how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation. Simply call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit and see how you can become timeshare free. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. Once again, 800-462-3333.
It seems like everywhere you look right now, someone is sick. This year, prepare your family for airborne invaders like bacteria, pollen, and yes, germs with Navage Nasal Care. Navage flushes ultra-pure, refreshing saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out of the other nostril. Navage sucks out viruses, dust, and other airborne particles, all the stuff that gets trapped in your nose making you miserable. Don't get caught empty-handed this winter. Get Navage, the drug-free solution that helps you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. Even better, Navage is HSA, FSA eligible, so Navage is a great way to spend those funds before they expire. Don't wait a minute longer. Buy Navage today and you'll breathe easier knowing you're putting your funds to good use. Navage is available online at Navage.com or Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
And now, the fine folks at The Fenceman are on the air reminding motorists to slow down on our roads, keep an eye out for kids at play, and never text and drive. It can wait. This message is courtesy of The Fenceman, your local fence builder for over 35 years. Call Johnny today for all your fencing needs at 615-498-0492. 615-498-0492. The Fenceman, the professionals who care. Get back to the grind with your Memphis Grizzlies tomorrow at 7 p.m. when they host the New York Knicks on social media night. Catch all the action and be sure to arrive early. First 5,000 fans receive a Marcus smartphone holder. Get hyped. Get ready for a star-studded show and secure your tickets today by visiting Grizzlies.com. That's Grizzlies.com.
The McFarland Show. Video streaming live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube from the Strike and Spare studio.
The fun part, while the city continues to grow at a rapid pace, constantly new people in. There's people like this show, Darren and Justin, here in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio.
That's right.
And this guy on the phone line, Terry McCormick, TitanInsider.com, who have seen things the entire time the Titans have been in this market. Terry, how we doing?
Oh, we are busy as all this stuff, starts trying to come together. It's still a long way off, it feels like.
Okay, before we get into it, we should have this segment probably sponsored by Outback and the Bloomin' Onion. So before we peel back this Bloomin' Onion, let me just start with news comes out at like 11:45. I think it was somewhere between 11:30, 11:45, that window when it hit. He's out on, what was that, Tuesday morning. What were your initial thoughts?
I was like, wow, I was a little surprised by it because I thought that, even though we'd been hearing all sorts of rumblings and about meetings and this, that, the other, I thought that Mike Vrabel would survive this and get the opportunity to rebuild this roster and this team.
How nervous are you moving forward where, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have phrased it that way. Amy Adams Strunk, let me start here. Let me start over. Scratch that. Amy Adams Strunk, is affectionately known as Miss Amy and all that good stuff. And none of us get to, have an opportunity to have any interaction with her, real interaction. And that's her choice, and that's fine. But, it's kind of come off as, oh, Miss Amy and Miss Amy. I do wonder if that's kind of changed now. It to me, it feels like the sentiment is changing on how people view her. Agree or disagree?
Absolutely agree. Because, I mean, and I think Mike Vrabel probably agrees too. Think about this. You know, before when things were going well over there and Vrabel was at the helm and they were, you know, winning divisions and they were going to playoffs and they would have these different press conferences, whether it would be to sign a player, whether it would be to, you know, some sort of charitable event. Mike Vrabel would always go out of his way to start the press conference, and John Robinson too, for that matter, thanking Miss Amy and the organization. Well, if you notice that over the last year or so, that's kind of dried up. That probably should have been a clue to us that all was not rosy inside St. Thomas Sports Park between the coach and the owner of the team. That probably should have been our first inkling that maybe something wasn't as hunky-dory as they, you know, had previously projected it to be. And I do think that Amy Adams Strunk has some of the same impulsiveness that her father did. Because if you read, you know, what's been reported out there about the reasons that, you know, she and Mike Vrabel didn't see eye to eye and he was let go, some of it was they lost to the Texans while wearing the Oilers uniform. They got the quarterback hurt against the Texans. Vrabel, you know, there were reports Vrabel didn't go out of his way early enough to squash the rumors about the Patriots when he was up there being inducted into their Hall of Fame. All of those things individually seem relatively minor to, you know, in my eyes they do. That doesn't seem like the reason that I would want to fire a coach. Things happen, you know, and at some point with the Adams family, they're going to have to realize that even though they're from Houston and they live there, the Texans are in your division. They're going to beat you sometimes. That's just how it is. That's not, you know, that's not out of the ordinary. You know, the Colts and the Jaguars are going to beat you sometimes, and you're going to beat them sometimes. That's how division play works in the NFL. So to me, you know, yes, I'm starting to see some of the same trends and things that existed during Bud Adams' time, where you maybe don't know that he's keeping score, but yeah, he is. He was kind of making a mental note, and all of a sudden, one day, Floyd Reese is no longer the GM, or Mike Reinfeldt is no longer the GM, or Jeff Fisher is no longer the head coach. Jeff Diamond is no longer the president of the team. Those sorts of things.
You've been in the newspaper industry for a long time. Do you happen to still have a landline at your house?
I do, but we don't use it.
You do, but you don't use it. Okay.
The internet is hooked up to it.
Oh. Okay. Because you're doing. I want people to hear what you have to say, and you're a little choppy.
Let me move into another room. Let's see if that'll help.
Okay.
Let's do that. Let's try.
We're on with Terry McCormick with TitanInsider.com. He has covered this franchise since 1997. He goes further back than Darren and I. He goes all the way back to the Memphis year. In 97. So Terry has literally seen everything.
I will say this. I don't know, we're all trying to sift through, and we can read the reports together and try to sift through what is real, what's not, and what have you. If Mike Vrabel, I don't know if he wanted power or not. I don't know. If he did, I don't blame them for not giving him general manager power. Like, I get it. He saw it with Bill in New England. He saw it at Ohio State. He probably saw, he's seen it other places, and he saw it with Bill O'Brien in Houston, and maybe he wanted that. It's like, but I don't blame them for not doing this or doing that. I guess of all the stuff out there, she wasn't happy about when he went up there. I will say this, the more I think about all these layers, I truly believe, because I said it many, many times this year, Terry, I said, Mike Vrabel, you can go back and review the tapes. I said, Mike Vrabel looks like a guy that knows he can't fix this team. This team is destined to be 5-12. I said it for going, I don't know, middle of the season or whatever. I was like, this team is going to be a 5-12 team, and he knows he can't fix it. That's what he looks like to me. And with that being said, Terry, it's starting to really, really feel like he knew that, and maybe he knew he couldn't fix it. It was going to take too long, and he's like, I think it's time for me to get out of here. I can't fix this. How much of that do you think is true?
I think there's some validity to that, because when you think about where this team was, I think with the limited cap space that they had last offseason and as many draft picks as they had missed on, and just kind of overall, especially because it's one of those things where you knew the offense was handicapped with a terrible offensive line. You knew that, you could put anybody under center with that team, and it was probably not going to work out very well, because you're talking about 65 sacks given up, which is just a ridiculous number. So I think he probably knew some of that. Now, I think by going in, if he did indeed ask for roster control and ask for, things like that, I think that is, to your point, I think he knew that this was probably a 2 to 3 year fix.
Yeah. I don't blame them for that. So another thing I said is this: they need to get off this stupid word of collaboration. Like just stop it, because just hire a coach and have him coach the football team. You have a GM, have him be a GM, and you have an owner that whenever she wants to, do whatever she wants to do, she can do it because she's the damn owner. Like, let's just enough of this whole collaboration crap, because it doesn't mean a hill of beans if Amy Adams Strunk wakes up one day and she's had enough and she just blows everything up, which it does seem like has been very impulse, like you said, very daddy-like. And so let's get off the collaboration.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. The only way, I get it, exactly what you said. Let the coach do his job, let the GM do his job, and if you see that one of them is not getting the job done, or both of them are not getting the job done, then make a change. The only way, to me, the quickest way to fix this, and this is not a direction that they're going to go, and you know this as well as I do as soon as these words come out of my mouth, would be go write a $20 million check per year to Jim Harbaugh and say, come fix my team. But we know that's not going to happen, because that would usurp her authority, that would usurp Rand Carthon's, role, everything that's going on here. I think, if you want it fixed, hire somebody that knows how to fix things. Otherwise, when you go out and you hire a young coach who has yet to be a head coach, most of these guys, other than, the occasional retread like Dan Quinn or Chip Schwartz gets in the mix, most of these guys don't have a track record other than as a coordinator. So you're rolling the dice. They may turn out to be the next Sean McVay. They might turn out to be the next Adam Gase. You just don't know. But when you do that, then if you don't get it right, 3 years from now you're going to be back in the same place. Because you probably have messed up with the wrong coach. You're going to fire the GM who hired that coach, and you're going to be looking for a new quarterback because you couldn't develop the one you had. So this is a very, very important hire for this organization.
Most certainly is. Terry, you may or may not be aware that every single head coach that this organization has hired since 1990 has played in the National Football League at some point.
Yeah, I put that tweet out yesterday, as a matter of fact.
So what do you think the chances are that they finally break that streak and hire someone who has not worn a helmet and shoulder pads in the National Football League?
Well, if they go to the offensive side of the ball, which I think they absolutely need to do, and I'll explain my reasoning for that here in just a second, then I don't see a candidate out there that is a former player on the offensive side of the ball with that type of training. You're talking about guys like Ben Johnson or Brian Callahan.
Mike Kafka, though, in New York.
True. But I also tweeted this out. He might be a fine coach, but it's kind of hard to sell the fan base and your fans if you're bringing in a guy who was the offensive coordinator for a team that was worse than you were.
There's a lot of truth to that.
He might be the second coming of Don Shula, but it doesn't give that look off if you're hiring a guy who was with the Giants and trotted Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor and Tommy DeVito out there.
Wow. All right, so you think it's likely if they keep going offense that they're going to have to go with a non-player?
Probably. And here's my reason for going offense. All right? If you hire an offensive coach and you hire the right guy, he puts a system in place like Sean McVay, like Matt LaFleur. He puts his system in place, and the system is there for as long as he is. And you can interchange the parts of coordinators and quarterbacks coaches and tight end coaches and do all that. And then you hire somebody to run the defense because this guy comes from an offensive background. You give for lack of a better term, a Wade Phillips, Todd Bowles type of guy who really knows defense, and you say, coach my defense. But if you hire somebody who comes from a defensive background as your head coach, then if he brings in a good offensive coordinator, some team in 2 or 3 years is going to snap up that good offensive coordinator, and you're going to be left looking for the next guy, hoping he's as good and his system is as good as what just left out the door. Whereas if you hire the offensive-minded head coach, the system stays in place, and defensive coordinators are much easier to find than offensive coordinators in terms of guys who can do a good job and run one side of the ball, in my opinion.
It's going to be interesting. Brian Callahan is the first one who has completed the interview. We'll see where this goes and how long it's going to take. Terry, appreciate it as always. You have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Terry McCormick, TitanInsider.com. Don't know where this is going.
No.
I've just been obviously been thinking about this a lot because we've been talking about it a lot. And this is such a huge, huge hire because I don't know. That's the thing. I've been asked the question, is this a good idea, bad idea? And I don't know.
Yeah.
I've stated my pros and my cons of Mike Vrabel on this show. But ultimately, Justin, I don't know if this is the right move or not. There's a lot of things about Mike Vrabel that I think can be better on somebody else's watch. There's also a lot of things about Mike Vrabel I'm not so sure somebody else can be better on a new watch than he was. So I don't know. And the other part is we don't know really to this point what Rand Carthon is. We don't hear from him much. And it sounds like that he kind of deferred to Mike in this last draft, kind of like, what do you think? Okay, there's what I think. Okay. But if you want, because, there is a story out there that somebody wanted Skoronski and somebody didn't.
Somebody wanted Zay Flowers. I don't know if you've looked at Zay Flowers this year. And if you looked at Skoronski this year, it's 1 year and they're rookies. But it does seem like one looks to be better than the other. It's 1 year. But Zay Flowers had quite the season for the Ravens. Okay.
And Skoronski was okay.
Yeah, he was okay.
He was okay.
I want to respond to a couple things you just said.
Okay.
You said you don't know if this is the right move for the Titans to make or not. Well, I've got good news. They don't know either. They don't know. They think they know.
Then stop. Hold on.
Sure.
1 second.
Sure.
If that is true, then this truly was. You heard the term, and I know you do because you probably say it on TV, Justin. Impulse buy, right? You guys do stories on impulse buys.
Yeah.
This was an impulse decision then.
Well,
if they don't know, because it seemed like the story is when she just said, Mike Mularkey, you just won a playoff game, thank you, but hit the bricks, he's gone because I know the next guy is going to be even better than him.
It is literally impossible for her to know that. She doesn't know if this is the right move or not.
Well, that's certainly the picture they painted, though, right?
She can paint whatever picture she would like to. There is no way that she knows if the person coming in the door is going to be better than Mike Vrabel. She can't know that. There's no way she could know that. So you don't know that, and neither does she. Neither does Rand Carthen, neither does Will Levis, neither does anybody else. Anybody who tells you otherwise is fooling themselves. They don't know. You don't know until you start going through the process because you don't know what is going to happen along the way. We think we understand, but then we get in the middle of it, and we don't know what circumstances are going to present themselves, and then what happens after that.
But what's tricky, Justin, is typically, when you're moving on from a coach or a GM, typically you're going, yeah, we don't know, but could it really be worse, right? That's what we're saying, right?
Well,
could it really be worse?
That's typically what happens, but not all the time.
But we're not saying that in this case.
No, we're not. But although, well, I am to a certain degree, which, led to my rant earlier this week about what has Mike Vrabel really accomplished that is so great and wonderful that we haven't already seen. So in my mind, looking at the long-term health of the franchise throughout the entire 25 years, can it really, what's going to happen?
I know, but I guess
I understand your
I'm
point,
saying that it's usually bottomed out.
Yeah, I understand.
Or it's really low.
No, I get what you're saying. The other part about what you were saying about Rand Carthen and his ability, and we don't know what he is, and he seems to defer to Mike Vrabel. He came on the program, and when he was here, we asked him about, the draft process, and he told us the draft board was pretty much set when he got there. That's what he told us. With zero push or trick questions or anything. You just listen. Honestly, the draft board was pretty set when I walked in. They already had stuff.
So, okay. But he clearly had his own little draft board as well because, like I said, there's stuff out there that he wanted a receiver, and they went with a guard.
Well, his draft board may have been dictated by his own personal beliefs, and some of that may have been driven by his general manager back in San Francisco. But now he's got a new general manager, or he is general manager, and he's got new ownership and new philosophies.
But yes, to your point, he did say that to us.
He did say that. So it's not surprising now. And when they asked him, are you picking the next head coach? He says, well, I'm going to be part of the process. Does that sound like you're in charge? If you're part of the
I think
it's not like he's in charge
I think
to me.
He could have done a better job of saying, well, I'm the general manager. Of course I'm going to be in the room. I'm going to go through all of this stuff. I mean, am I going to be involved in the process? Of course. But ultimately, Amy Adams Strunk, if she wants somebody or doesn't want somebody, is going to dictate this process. Why is that so bad to say? Why is it? It's the truth. Because ultimately she has the final say.
If that's not the message your boss wants delivered, then that's not what you say.
She has to sign off.
Of course she does.
She has to.
Of course she does. But again, if that is not the message, a lot of this is about messaging. Especially when it comes to
this. Well, they
this.
haven't been very good at messaging over the years.
Now, that's
Justin.
a whole other thing.
Maybe they should take classes on it.
That's
they haven't been very good.
They've got to come together with a concrete message they want to get out there. But Rand Carthen is going to be involved with this. Amy Adams is obviously going to make the ultimate decision. Where do they go? It seems to me they should go to the offensive side. I agree with Terry. But all the experience, and this is what's going to be tricky about this, Darren, all the experience in this particular pool of people that we're looking at, if you take the pool of people at face value, all the experience is over on the defensive side. The offensive folks, their resumes are really thin.
Yeah.
Really thin. And it gets thinner all the time, by the way.
Yeah.
In about 4 or 5 years, we're going to be going from quarterbacks coach to we're going to be going from offensive quality control straight to head coach here.
John Harbaugh was hired by the Ravens from a special teams coach.
But at least he was wasn't he the special teams coordinator? Like he wasn't an assistant.
No, he was the special teams coordinator.
Yeah, at least he had a coordinator position.
But you don't see that very often.
Yeah, I understand. But the Bobby Slowick gentleman down there in Houston, and God bless him. Listen, he looks like he's done a wonderful job. He spent 6 years in San Francisco. None of them were offensive coordinator. He's done 1 year in Houston as the offensive coordinator, and now he's ready to be a head coach in the National Football League. Matt LaFleur, IEC Matt LaFleur. This is where we are now.
He was truly an OC for 1 year here. He wasn't the OC in L.A. He had the title. He was truly the OC here for a year and became the head coach of the Packers.
And by the way,
and look, I was the one on radio going, I like him a lot. He's not ready yet. It's not his time yet. I was the one saying that.
Hey,
he's not going to be the head coach of the Packers because he needs more seasoning. I said that. I was wrong.
And by the way, Mike Vrabel himself was a linebackers coach.
Yes.
And was DC
1 year.
for what, a year and a half?
No,
1 year?
A year.
And did they
and
tear?
They were horrible.
Were they the 85 Bears that year?
No, they were
the 2000
horrible.
Ravens that year? No. Head coach. I mean, so the qualifications, it really is just about who you like.
Yeah.
Because they've swept. You no longer have to be some dominating offense or defense to be a head coach anymore. It just doesn't matter now. Now we like him, our synergy mixes or whatever it is, and now you're hired.
We'll come back. McFarland's 6-pack of picks next.
With 13 locations nationally, including Smyrna, Star Leasing Company is a semi-trailer one-stop shop and the perfect place to build a career as a semi-trailer mechanic. Seeking candidates with all levels of experience, Star Leasing Company has a semi-trailer technician trainee program with sign-on and quarterly bonuses and other opportunities such as $1,000 for having a yearly physical. Package also includes 401k with company match, health, dental, and vision insurance, competitive pay with weekly paychecks, and paid holidays and time off. Star Leasing Company, not your typical semi-trailer leasing company. It's starleasing.com to learn more.
Start the new year off with a bang of big savings during the Omaha Steaks end-of-season event. You can stock up on all your favorites and get 50% off site-wide. That's 50% off incredible steaks like their legendary Butcher's Cut Filet Mignon, or sink your teeth into their memorable Butcher. OmahaSteaks.com. Plus, when you use code QUALITY at checkout, you'll get an extra $30 off your order. From perfectly aged tender steaks to juicy burgers, decadent desserts, and classic comfort meals, every bite is guaranteed perfect. For a limited time, get 50% off site-wide. Plus, save an extra $30 when you use promo code QUALITY at checkout. Start the new year off right and warm up your winter with tender steaks and hearty home-cooked favorites from Omaha Steaks. All 50% off with their end-of-season event. Make sure to enter the promo code $30 off your order. Minimum purchase may apply. Omaha Steaks, America's original butcher.
Cashback is not available.
Great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back just for buying the gas I was going to buy anyway.
But is it a hassle to use?
No, it's super fast and easy. And I can cash out whenever I want.
That's a total no-brainer. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LIFT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code LIFT. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LIFT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LIFT.
In a single moment, everything can change. When a player's sudden cardiac event brought a national football game to a halt, it shone a spotlight on the importance of CPR readiness. Now, with youth sports in full swing, the American Heart Association is rallying parents and coaches to be ready in an emergency. To be ready, learn hands-only CPR. It's a skill anyone can learn in minutes. Visit heart.org/hands-only-CPR and become a lifesaver today.
It's a Bill King Show.
We
we are college football centric. That is the planet that we live on. Our planet actually isn't flat or round. It's an oblong spheroid. And we are here to proselytize about it, edify it every day on this here radio show.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
Welcoming calls from all around Middle Tennessee. 615-844-5600. The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch is how you can watch the show. You can listen to the show anywhere in the world. I would download the app. It's free, WNSR. Go to the website, WNSR.com. Live stream it anywhere in the world. Back here on the show, we are the McFarlands, Darren and Justin, here in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. DJ Damon is alongside. It is time for the McFarland six-pack of picks. It's going to be real clean and easy this week. There are 6 NFL playoff games, and those are the games we're going to pick. Last week, I went 4-2. Justin went 5-1. Your lone hiccup was the under 99.5 yards rushing for Derrick Henry. That was your only hiccup.
Yeah.
I tried to tell you.
I was
going to have a big day.
I was right on the carries. I was just under on the yardage.
Well, he had 19 carries. I said he was going to have 20 or more.
Yeah, I thought you said 25.
No, I said 20. I said he's going to have 20 or more.
All right, then. That's whatever.
I said I feel very confident he's going to have 20 or more carries and definitely over 100 yards.
Okay.
So that was your only hiccup. That was it. My 2 hiccups were I had the Colts against the Texans and Washington against Michigan. Whoops. So my record on the season, this is, remember, against the spread. We've been doing this all year. 46-56. Not great, but that's what it is. And yours is 58-44, which is stellar.
Okay.
Again, you have missed an opportunity to be driving a very, very nice car outside.
Okay. Well, thank you for that reminder.
So a couple new suits for Fox 17.
Appreciate it. I would take the car at this point, but
well, yeah.
Thank you.
But you've left a lot of, as they say, meat on the table.
Listen, it's scary. So I don't have this much courage. It's cool when you're just out here with the paper. Yeah.
Nothing's on the line.
Nothing's on the line. It's
but just
cool.
us reviewing it.
Yeah. But when you got to actually put the stuff that comes in the direct deposit, you got to put that out there. Now you're second guessing a little bit. Like, I don't know if that's really going to happen.
Scared money don't win, Justin.
Yeah, that's why I'm 54-44 or whatever. So,
all right, let's start with the Browns and the Texans down in Houston.
All right,
Texans getting 1.5.
Give me the Browns. Give me the Brownies here. I just believe Joe Flacco gets it done. First playoff game for the rookie, for C.J. Stroud against, the super veteran here in this case. Give me the Browns.
I want you to listen to this stat.
Yeah.
Joe, 38-year-old Flacco, has won 7 road playoff games.
Yeah.
Not 7 playoff games.
No.
7 playoff games on the road in his career.
Yeah.
Give me the Browns.
Yeah.
Dolphins at the Chiefs.
Oh, the Chiefs all day.
Kansas City by 4. You don't even want to hear the line?
You tell me the line. That's fine. Kansas City by 4?
4.5.
Okay, the Chiefs.
Wow.
I don't believe in the Dolphins. I believe in the history here. I don't believe that the Miami Dolphins are going to win their first playoff game in 20-something years by beating the defending champions on the road. I just don't believe that.
Tua has never won in temperatures like this in his career. It's never happened. I think he's 0-4 because obviously he didn't play in temps like this in college.
No.
He played in Tuscaloosa.
Yes.
So he's 0-4 in temps like this. It's going to be below 0 in Kansas City. And the Dolphins are really, really banged up. It's going to be too much for them. I'll take Kansas City as well. The Bills at home, favored by 9.5 over Pittsburgh.
Whew. Man, this is tough. This is really tough for me. Because normally I pick the Steelers almost at all times because, they're the Steelers and they win way more than they lose historically. Mm-hmm. This is the playoffs, and they've lost their last 3 playoff games at least. So that same thing in the regular season for them doesn't necessarily carry over to the playoffs, and they're missing their best player. And so for all of that reason, the Steelers going to cover. That's the one I'm playing with. I think Buffalo wins. I'm just trying to figure out, do the Steelers cover? And I think the Steelers will cover. So give me the Steelers. I think they get closer. I think they play with a little pride, and I think the moment for Buffalo, give me the Steelers to cover, not to win.
It's going to be a very, very, very sloppy game. Conditions are going to be awful in Buffalo. I mean, awful. And they've had a lot of awful condition games in Buffalo. I've attended one of them a long time ago. It's going to be bad. It's going to be ugly. It'll probably be sloppy. Josh Allen is prone to turnovers. Pittsburgh isn't going to win, but they are going to cover. So far, this is unlike us, too. We've done this all year. We usually have a lot of differences. So far, none. Dallas hosting the Packers. Cowboys favored by 7.5.
Give me the Packers.
Packers in the points.
Yeah.
I will take Dallas at home.
Okay.
There's our first difference. Okay, the doozy. Rams at the Lions. In Detroit, Lions favored by 3.5.
Give me the Rams.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a great game. I can't wait. By the way, that Chiefs-Dolphins game, if you haven't heard us say it this week, we've tried to warn you. If you're looking for it, you're only going to find it on Peacock. So
good luck to you.
Good luck. A lot of people are ticked off, including me. And I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the Rams and the points with you. Finally, Monday night, Eagles at the Bucks in Tampa. Bucks getting 3.5.
Whew. Man. Give me the Eagles.
Over your beloved Bucks?
Man, regular season's over. Okay. Give me the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles too. Sorry, Baker.
It's tempting, but give me the Eagles.
So we only have one difference.
One difference there. We'll see.
Packers-Dallas game. Okay, we'll take our final break, come back, and put a bow on this week. We'll do that next.
And now, Musgrove Metal Fabrication and Roofing is reminding motorists to slow down on our roadways, keep an eye out for kids at play, and never text and drive. This message is brought to you by Musgrove Metal Fabrication and Roofing, backed by 45 years of experience. For all your residential or commercial metal and shingle roofing needs, give the pros a call today at 615-414-8466. 615-414-8466. That's Musgrove Metal Fabrication and Roofing, going the extra mile for safety. They're professionals who care.
Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel downtown is at the heart of Music City. Located within walking distance of the Country Music Hall of Fame, Bar Lines at the Omni is your downtown honky-tonk destination. Watch your team from any seat on their plentiful HD TVs and catch a live show on the Bar Lines stage featuring live music 7 days a week. Bar Lines has the ultimate Southern comfort food. Get started with classic fried green tomatoes or bourbon barbecue wings. Then it's on to the massive Smashville double stack or the world famous Bar Lines grinder. Oh, you've never heard of the Bar Lines grinder? 2 kinds of cheese, lettuce, Dijon, smoked turkey, smoked bacon, smoked ham. Now that's some smoke you want. Local brews and local spirits are on tap at Bar Lines. Take a seat on the patio outside and soak up the rhythm of Music City. Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown.
Want even more excitement on game day? It's time to get on Prize Picks, the best way to win big on fantasy sports. Here's how it works. Just pick 2 to 6 players and choose more or less on their stats. If you get them right, you could win up to 25 times your cash. It's quick and easy to make your picks, and with fast and safe deposits and withdrawals, Prize Picks is the place to play this season. Prize Picks has awesome weekly promotions, and they're the only daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, keeping you in the game even if one of your players goes down. Sweat it out. Watch your entry update in real time. And continue the fun by making picks on second half and fourth quarter stats. Take your game day experience to the next level with Prize Picks. And right now, you go to prizepicks.com/primetime and use code primetime. Prize Picks is matching your first deposit up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/primetime with code primetime for a 100% deposit match. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for more details.
Are you ready for a touchdown of flavor and excitement? Look no further than Sam's Place and Sam's Sports Grill, the ultimate destination for great food, fantastic drinks, and game time atmosphere that will have you cheering for more. Sam's is the place for every sports fan and food lover with over 40 TVs at every location. Sam's has a family-friendly atmosphere where everyone can have a blast. From their friendly staff to awesome kids menu, they've got something for everyone. Online at samsplace.net or samsportsgrill.com, or call and find the nearest location to you. At Sam's, the game is always on and the fun never stops.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
They put themselves in this position. It's a shame they put themselves in this position because I think not only is the division there to be had, the conference is there to be had. If they had more talent, if they had their stuff together. It's not the murderer's row that we thought the AFC was going to be going into the season.
The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
The McFarland Show, streaming live on the WNSR app and on WNSR.com.
All things are true. SEC basketball this weekend. Tennessee at Georgia. That game will be an 11 o'clock in the morning game.
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. on ESPN2.
There you go.
Tennessee at Georgia.
Little brunch.
Yeah. 11 a.m. to get things started. Vanderbilt at Ole Miss. That game will be at noon, and that is on SEC Network. Kentucky at Texas A&M on ESPN at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. South Carolina at Missouri, SEC Network, 2:30 in the afternoon tomorrow. Arkansas at Florida, that's on ESPN at 3 o'clock. LSU at Auburn, SEC Network at 5 o'clock. And Alabama at Mississippi State, SEC Network, 7:30 p.m. tip. Those were all our time. Predators tonight in Dallas. Tonight, They just beat the Stars in Dallas 4-3. So we'll see if they can do that. Remember, Dallas gave them the heartbreak loss here.
Yeah.
And then they went to Dallas and beat them, and they're going to turn around and play them. So that's like 3 times in a very short amount of time. So in Dallas tonight, back home tomorrow night here at Bridgestone Arena against the Islanders.
I feel like a playoff series with Dallas.
I know. Yeah, a little divisional matchup. So we'll see. Of course, the Predators on Grateful Dead night did not do well.
No.
On Tuesday night. They played dead Tuesday night.
Yeah.
They fell to the Ducks.
They were rethink that theme night.
That was not good.
No.
Or at least the way they play on that theme night.
Yeah. I mean, nothing wrong with the Grateful Dead. I'm just saying that, I don't know. Something going on with that theme, maybe. I don't know.
It was not a good night. We'll see how they respond to not a good night.
Yes. I would agree.
Against the Ducks. But they'll have their hands full. 2 good teams tonight and tomorrow. Stars and Islanders. It's going to be another exciting weekend of sports. I don't know what else is going to happen. I'm sure all this stuff we've talked about this week, there's going to be a couple more things.
Listen, stay warm, everybody. It's going to get cold.
Be safe.
It is going to snow a little bit, we think. So stay warm, please.
TSU and Lindenwood tomorrow at 3 o'clock right here on these airwaves on Nashville Sports Radio. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday. See you then.
CBS Sports Radio. This is the Zach Gelb Show. Here's your host, Zach Gelb.
And away we go, hour number 3 of our radio program. That's right, it is the Zach Gelb Show, coast to coast on CBS Sports Radio. The biggest news of the day. You know, probably when we walked into the newsroom, it was, Gerard Mayo's going to be the next head coach of the Patriots. And then it's up. We found out the next coach of Alabama. And that is Kalen DeBoer leaving Washington, where in his last 2 years, he did guide them to a 25-3 record and just lost the national championship game up against Michigan. And shortly after that happened on Monday, you find out Nick Saban, surprise, surprise, he's walking away, he's retiring. And then 48 hours later after that announcement from Nick Saban, you do have Alabama tabbing their next guy in Kalen DeBoer. And they had to move quickly, too. And that's what you're seeing now. When you have a big prime piece of real estate, which Alabama, right, is the preeminent job, in my opinion, in the sport, you don't act quickly. You allow this to linger. Like, you're going to lose players anyway because Saban is walking away. But to try to keep some of those players, you need a hire. And I think for most people, this is a positive hire. But I do believe that there will be a loud, vocal minority who will be a bunch of dopes and won't really make that much sense and will vehemently oppose this hire because of 2 reasons. One, it's not Nick Saban, all righty? And you got to get over that. We all know Nick Saban is the king. Nick Saban is the GOAT. Nick Saban has won 7 national championships. 6 of them were at Alabama. But it was his right and his prerogative to walk away. He's allowed to make that decision. He's allowed to retire. That's what happens in life. At one point, you're young. Then you become established. Then you eventually get old. And it's time to do what you want to do and retire and not have to work each and every day for a job that, even though it's Alabama and, right, the wheels practically spin on their own, but with how controlling Nick Saban is and how he has his hands in everything and his fingerprints all over that program to bringing them back, you know that he operates a certain way. And even he said that he was starting to get tired this year and didn't feel like the same person. So I understand that it's not Saban. There's going to be an adjustment. DeBoer will keep some things Saban did and also change things as he should. Because you got to put your own spin on it when you get this job. And also, you know, I hate this saying, and I know we live in a world of sayings and cliches. Oh, you don't want to be the guy that replaces the guy. You want to be the guy that replaces the guy that replaces the guy. Yeah, I know it's tough to walk into a job and you'll never fill the shoes of Nick Saban. But it doesn't mean that you can't be successful. Like, DeBoer wins a national championship at Alabama. Are people going to be sitting there and saying, oh, my God, it's not Nick Saban? So there's still a level of success that Kalen DeBoer can have. It's just not going to be to the level where there's 6 national championships. And let me just break some news to you. You're not going to see a run in this new era of name, image, and likeness and the transfer portal like we got to see with Nick Saban, because that's the toughest part. I know Saban had 4 5-star recruits all over his roster and then some, but there's still a player development that has to happen. And when you're at Alabama, a big brand like that, and you're still trying to develop players that have never been told no in their life, when they're told they're not ready to get on the field, some players will embrace it. Some players will say, oh, I love the competitive environment here. And others will say, I'll go elsewhere. It's just the nature of the beast. And heck, even Nick Saban grew tired of NIL because you look at some of these other schools like A&M. Remember that whole fight with Jimbo Fisher? Why did that start? Because Jimbo Fisher, the #1 recruiting class, he was at a small business conference in Alabama, and he was basically begging people to donate more money. So I get what Saban walked away, and I understand that's tough to move on from it, but it doesn't mean that DeBoer can't have success. And the other thing, as Emmitt Smith said on this show, when he's like, oh, that makes me hot, when talking about Ezekiel Elliott and why he's no longer with the Dallas Cowboys, what makes me hot about this analysis and just some of the stupidity that I hear from some people, oh, DeBoer's going to fail. He's going to fail because he doesn't have SEC roots. He doesn't have Alabama roots. Like, what are we doing? The coach that you love, Nick Saban, before he got to Alabama, let's go back to when he was at LSU, where he ended up winning a national championship. What roots did he have at LSU? What roots did he have in the South? I get it. He was coaching at Michigan State. DeBoer's coming over from Washington. He just took Washington to a national championship game. He used the transfer portal, right? Michael Penix Jr. and a bunch of other players. And he was able to beat Texas, a school that, oh yeah, by the way, Alabama lost to by 10 points when Alabama was home this year. So this idea that just because you have no affiliation to the university, you don't have affiliation to the South, you can't recruit in the South, it's a bunch of bull crap. And I'll give you more examples. And I'll give you two more. One which was years ago, and one was more present day or current within the last 5-6 years. You know, you look at Urban Meyer. When Urban Meyer got to Florida, where are his roots in the South? What was his attachment to Florida? They were a huge force for 5 years when Urban Meyer was there. And then, you know, I'll just speak from a personal experience. When Matt Rule left Temple to go to Baylor, a lot of people crushed that hire in Waco, Texas. They said, Matt Rule has no ties to Texas. You're bringing a Northeast guy to Texas? Oh, he's going to fail. And Matt Rule basically had no resources at Baylor because of the scandal that happened there and the disgusting things that happened under Art Briles. And Matt Rule had that team in a Big 12 championship game. Had that team in the Sugar Bowl in short order. So you can end up having success even if you are in unfamiliar territory. And I do think it makes it easier now when there is a transfer portal where you could bring some of your guys in, and then also when you could utilize name, image, and likeness. And even though, right, Saban was getting fed up with the recruiting a little bit and name, image, and likeness, DeBoer is going to walk in with more resources at Alabama than he's ever had before. And this guy has had a great rise. He's been around multiple jobs, whether it was a smaller job, a medium size, a big size job, and now he has the biggest job to exist in the sport. And everywhere the guy has gone, he's won. So when you were like, I remember, you know, I had a conversation once with Chris Olivero, who runs, you know, our company here. And Chris Olivero, when Mark Chernoff, right, who's like the Nick Saban of program directors, when he retired, like Chris said to me, I'm looking for someone, as much as we love Mark, that was opposite than Mark, different than Mark. You know, it doesn't really have too many attachments than Mark. Because when you're replacing a legend and you bring in a disciple or you bring in someone that was similar to that legend, I understand the theory, but sometimes it's good to bring in someone that was totally different to create this new era, to create this new wave, and to try to have more success and put a different spin on it. Because if you would have had a Saban disciple take over, everything would have been compared to Saban. Now, I get it. In some regard, DeBoer's always going to be compared to Saban because Saban was there before him. But bringing in someone new, bringing in someone different for a new era and new times of name, image, and likeness in the transfer portal, it makes sense. It's not a bad thing. And, like, who were Alabama fans wanting? You know, Dan Lanning, that was the guy that you wanted? Well, he wanted to stay at Oregon. You know, I don't think that they preferred Sark or Norvell or Lane Kiffin over Kalen DeBoer. And as much as I love Lane Kiffin, I said this yesterday, when I think of Alabama, I know Kiffin was there, but he just seems like a perfect match for Ole Miss. You know, and I would trust DeBoer more than I would Lane Kiffin, even with Lane Kiffin just winning 10 games this year in the SEC at Ole Miss. But that's the other thing with DeBoer. He is unflappable. You know, I know Kalen DeBoer. I've been around Kalen DeBoer. This dude is going to have to, with probably a vocal minority of people, he is going to have to deal with intense criticism from the start. I don't think this guy cares. You know, he'll pay his respects to Nick Saban. It'd be a dummy not to. But we've had him on 3 times throughout this legendary season. You can never tell if it was after a win or a loss. And the guy didn't lose a single game this year up until the national championship game. This dude is just a coach that's made for this new era of college football. And I don't know where else you would have gone or what else you would have done. And you could tell me Dan Lanning. I love Dan Lanning. Love him. I said this to Dan Lanning's face, that the reason why I like him so much is because he, and I meant this in a respectful way, he just has that football psycho kind of feel to him. You see him get on the football field, that's a sanctuary. You see him talk to his team, that's in his sanctuary. And he just is wired differently. So that would have been an excellent hire. But DeBoer has to be at the top of the list, if not a top 3 name. And if you get your top 3 name for a job, I know you're Alabama, what's wrong with this hire? So I don't have concerns. And I think DeBoer will be able to survive some of the initial challenges where in a few years from now, we're looking back at it. And that gets to the timeline, too. You know, what is the timeline for Kalen DeBoer? They had to pay some money to buy him out. I haven't seen the details of the contract, but if Washington was offered to double up his salary and make it about $9 million a year, he's going to make north of that, clearly, at Alabama. So I got to say, you know, it's 3 years. You know, you're in a 12-team, like, next year you better be in the playoff. I'll say that. You missed the playoffs this year when you go to 12, when Nick Saban didn't even have his best Alabama team. Maybe some people said it's the worst Nick Saban team that he's had that's ever won an SEC or got to a playoff. So even though there's going to be changes, you now expand from 4 to 12. You got to be a top 12 team in college football next year. You know, I think that's the initial bar. And I know some Alabama fans would not want to hear that because they expect greater. But I think you give this guy 3 years and you see what happens after that. But why can't this guy, in short order, continue to have Alabama with the look of a national championship team? Heck, the guy was just at Washington. Washington! Right? It was trending the wrong direction in the transition after Chris Peterson. He jumps in there. He restores the program. They lost outside the national championship game 2 games. 2 games in the last 2 years. Michael Penix Jr., under his tutelage, went from being an afterthought to a Heisman Trophy finalist. Right in that grouping of guys the last 2 years that people thought he should have won the award. So why can't he make it work? Why can't he be successful? And I'm not someone that always gets on the radio when a hire is made and throw the pom-poms up and go, oh, yeah, wonderful job by Alabama, wonderful job by this school. If I like a hire, I'll tell you. If I think a hire's crap, I'll tell you that as well. But I just don't understand, outside of it not being Saban coaching your team next year, why you would be against Kalen DeBoer coming in. And the future of the SEC, and really college football, but the SEC in particular, is fascinating. Lane Kiffin has Ole Miss rolling. They have a wonderful transfer portal. LSU, can Brian Kelly, right? You have 3 head coaches since 2000 that have won national championships. LSU is one of the more, LSU and USC were the 2 most disappointing teams in college football last year. Can LSU start to get going under Brian Kelly? A&M just brought in Elko. You have Hugh Freeze at Auburn. You know, Georgia, they've been the most dominant team as of late in college football, and they lost 1 game to Alabama, and they were on the outside looking into the playoff, and you returned Carson Beck. You know, Missouri had a good year. Tennessee, good year 2 years ago. You know, this year they were fine at 9-4. Can Heupel continue to move that train in the right direction? And you got guys like Shane Beamer who's got to get going. Billy Napier, got to get going. Mark Stoops, I think he's done all he could at Kentucky. I think A&M fans were crazy to not want Mark Stoops, but they didn't want him. And then also, oh yeah, by the way, you get those 2 mega brands coming in. Texas, Roland, Quinn Ewers coming back, Arch Manning right behind him, and Oklahoma makes their way into the SEC as well. This is a fun time. And Georgia's still going to be looked at as the kings of the SEC, but Alabama is still going to be right there. And when you look at all these conferences, like in the Big Ten, it's really been Ohio State and Michigan. Well, now you could reverse that, flip-flop it. Michigan and Ohio State also sounds better, and it's more true. And then there's been people fighting for that 3rd spot. It's been Penn State, been Wisconsin, Iowa. You know, people fighting for that 3rd spot. In the SEC, the 2 teams for a long time now have been Georgia and Alabama. And it's out of everybody